Finding true happiness and enlightenment is certainly no easy task. How do you go about finding yourself and finding the true meaning of your life? Joining us now is inspirational speaker and author, Roshi. Hello, Roshi. How are you?
I'm great. How about yourself?
I'm wonderful, thank you. I have
Thank
this
you.
book that you gave me, Kokoro, and you helped me pronounce it, so that's great, The Heart Within. And isn't that what Kokoro means?
Yes, it's the Japanese word for what in the East is considered the place of true knowledge, the place of wisdom. So it's about where in the West we conceptualize everything here
Right.
about life. The Japanese and Zen in particular speaks about the heart within as the true place of knowledge. All real knowledge happens here.
You know, it's wonderful because there's so much research lately about how the heart really is being able to give the brain information and the body information and do so much. So Buddhism knew that for thousands and thousands of years, right?
Yes,
Okay. Speaking of Buddhism, there's so much about what I've read, and you have this beautiful book, and you write so beautifully. I've read a lot of your stuff, and there's something about resolve that Buddha talked about and that you speak about a lot of. How does that work in with living an authentic life and with relationships?
Well, resolve comes out of a place of understanding, first of all, that as the Buddha taught and all of the enlightened masters speak about the fact that we are here to be who we truly are. So Buddhism talks a great deal about discovering one's original self, one's true nature, that nature prior to where culture and society has reshaped it and contrived this new person. So it comes out of the resolve as a function of recognizing that my singular purpose in life is to live my life as truly and as authentically as who I am, and to express that in the world. And when you understand that that is not only the purpose, but the singular source for true happiness, the resolve seems to rise naturally.
You know, I love that. And also within Buddhist teachings is a lot about giving and being part of the community and relationships. So that's also coming from the heart. Isn't that true?
Yes, we are hardwired for love, as I mentioned.
I love that.
Yes, we are
hardwired for love.
We come into the world as loving beings, and it is our nature to want to give. It's our nature to want to be part of a community of other and so forth. And in fact, from the Buddhist perspective, when we are suffering or dealing with stress, it is the absence of that going on for us. So when we find ourselves not able to, as I call, live at the level of full self-expression and as a benefit to the world or to my community or other, we will find that suffering will rise and compound for us.
So I think, and again, a lot of Buddhist teachings and your teaching speaks about that we have to really understand suffering and come to terms with it to be able to really experience the joy of life as well. Now, how do we find the spiritual in everyday life, in the so-called mundane, if you will?
Well, I think Chardin gives the best hint in that when he says, we are not human beings having a spiritual experience. We are spiritual beings having a human experience. And I often tell people, you are Buddha, act accordingly, you'll see. And so we need a real shift or a new paradigm for living life, particularly in today's culture, which is all about more, better, and different. Finding things outside yourself that will make you better, make you have more, be different, and so forth. And
rather than going within and seeking that, right?
And realizing that you already have all of that. We are born, if you notice on the book, I'm holding an acorn, and I usually bring that to my talks in high schools and colleges.
Oh, that's great.
And I ask people, you know, what is this? And obvious answer is it's an acorn. And I will tell them they're wrong, look again. And eventually we get to the truth, and the truth is it's an oak tree. And I explained to him that just like the acorn, everything you need to be who you truly are, which is the source of your rare happiness, already exists within you. You came fully packaged for what was necessary for Joanne to be Joanne in a way as a force of nature rather than some contrived ideal of someone else's life.
You know, I think I got that several years ago, which was nice. To be too bad we didn't get it earlier. But wouldn't it be wonderful, Roshi, if everybody was able to recognize that Buddha within themselves and be able to live accordingly? I think so many things in our world would be different.
Absolutely, because there's a Zen saying that the world is upside down. And what it means is that our perception of the meaning of life is completely different from reality. And reality, when, you know, we live in the Pine Lands at the Zen Center. And when you look in the Pine Lands all the time, I tell people, I've never seen a neurotic squirrel or deer, or I've never seen a bird afraid to fly, you see. It seems to be a human condition. And yes, when we realize that we are possessed with this unlimited, infinite potential to be forces of nature, I say that most people in the world are unhappy, which is the source of global suffering, because they're all living lives they would rather not live.
You know, I think that's so important for all of us to get to recognize the Buddha is within us and that we have that potential and that potentiality.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Roshi.
Well, it's my
have
pleasure.
a blessed evening.
Thank you. Thank you.
Ahead, the ever-changing television industry. What's good, what's bad, and what's ugly? Coming up next, entertainment reporter Neil Zorin tackles the issue.